So the video we had to watch for class was the high cost of our cheap fashion. So clothing is the second highest form of pollution. The average number of new garments Americans purchased in 1960 versus today is drastically different. So in 1960, the average American purchased 25 items per year, while today it's 3 times more than that. They moved productions overseas because of the cheaper materials they could get and the cheaper labor plus the cheaper clothes they could get out of it. So 80% of the jobs in the US were gone because they moved the productions over there. They didn't need the workers here. They got the cheaper labor, the cheaper materials. They just didn't need to be here anymore. So in 1960, spending 10% of paychecks on clothing, 95% of the clothing was American made. And today in the US, it's less than 2%. So talking about the fast fashion would be H&M used to use cotton in 2001, and then they started using polyester at the same time. And ever since then, polyester just took over. It just took off. And with polyester, polyester is a polluting plastic and is now in over half of our clothing items. So polyester is a non-biodegradable, has a lot of microplastics in our ocean and food chains now, and non-breathable. Plus, it's very energy intensive. So every piece of polyester that has been created/produced is still on the planet today. 150 billion pieces of clothes are created each year. So every time you wash a piece of clothing that has polyester in it, thousands of little microplastics are entering our water systems and getting into the ocean and getting to our fish, and the fish are consuming them, and then we consume the fish. So there was a study in the video that talked about, it was in California, and it was at a fish market, and 1 in every 4 pieces of fish, they found these microplastics in them. And just think about that, 1 in every 4 pieces of fish. There's so many pieces of fish out there. So it's the greatest pollution with the microplastics. And then polyester is a non-breathable fabric. So the heat gets trapped in there. So when you start sweating and you're wearing a non-polyester, you can tell you're wearing a non-polyester shirt. I didn't realize how many times, I wear polyester. But, now that I think about this after watching this video, I know, how, the heat stays trapped in there. Because, some shirts you're like, oh, it's really hot. But then, other shirts, it's not. But you can just tell by how much heat stays in there. And then it's very energy intensive, which is compared to linen and wool, cotton, how they're made, it's 50 fibers, but how polyester is made is 125 fibers. So it's very intense. Plus that also helps, that grows the pollution, how intense it is to make. So China is our biggest chain of importing goods over, and it imports 41%. 3/4 of the energy is coming from coal, which is the dirtiest form of energy. 77% of China is coal-based energy, while the US is 33%. It's still it's still a lot, but having China being 77, that's crazy. Too much clothing at a high energy intensive causes this. So with polyester, how all of our clothing is made like that, it's causing all this coal production being brought up into the pollution. So apparel industry is responsible for 10% of total carbon outputs in the entire world, how we make the polyester fabrics, how the coal is being, and how everything's just going up in the air, pollution and everything. Think about this. That is 5 times more carbon output than all airlines travel. Department of Labor is where they find how they find forced labor and child labor. So there was this one thing, statistics. It was 1 of every 6 people around the world who work in the apparel industry. There's 1 of 6 people in the world. That's a lot of people. 80% of those are women, and 98% of them are not receiving livable wages and are getting locked into the channel of poverty. Companies can say they are ethical and show pictures of their factories, but the pictures can hide a lot of things. So in the video, she showed like how what she looked up ethical, and then she said what pictures don't show. So the first one she said was pictures versus like pictures equal transparency. Pictures do not show wages or health care, like we never know the benefits these people are getting. Pictures do not show shadow factories, and she described shadow factories are factories where they send the products to be made, and then once they're made they send it to the original factory where like they show the pictures of like everything that's like up to code, everything like that, while they don't show like the background, like how everything's being made directly. And then pictures do not show material sustainability, and there was an example of like how like they do dyes in the clothes, like how colors of the clothing and stuff, like when you wash it and stuff, how it gets into the water system, and like how when they make the clothing color they don't dispose of the dyes correctly, and they put them in the fresh waters, they put them in the fresh water streams, which is very like that's not healthy at all. So then she had an idea of a more sustainable clothing option, and it's called the New Standard, and it's user-centered design, use natural materials, and work directly with suppliers to create sustainable from farm to final factory. So how the people know like where the product's coming from, because most of these companies that are developing clothes don't even know where like the materials come from, which is very scary. And then also the open door policy. So have all products done domestically, like have everyone know what is going into the product, and like everyone know exactly what they're making. And then also they have the citizen consumer. So this is like for the people to check the tags of the clothes when you're buying stuff, to be open to like not buying polyester, because how it stays on the planet for like there's still everything that has polyester in it is still here today. Check the stems, the seams, not the stems, the seams, because like she said in the video, like when you go to a store and it's polyester, if you turn the outfit, like the shirt inside out, you can already tell like the seams are already breaking. And then love what you buy. Like don't just buy something because like that's literally just wasting and it's creating more polyester like clothing articles out there. Ask brand questions. Is it organic? Name of factories, names of mills, and are they certified? And then think of your purchase in terms of cost per week. Because when you buy, I know a lot of people buy stuff and they only wear it one time, but to help make the pollution go down and like the environment healthy and like organic, if you buy something and you know you're gonna wear it all the time, then like it's a good buy. But if you're just buying it to buy it, like it's not helping the planet out and it's not helping yourself out. And I've had this before, like when I buy clothes, like I buy like a lot of clothes at like cheaper places because like I'm a college student, I don't have enough money to buy the big brands. And also like when you're going to an event, like you want to get an outfit for it, you want to wear it one time. Like I've done that a lot of times, and now after watching this video and like talking about it, I understand like how it's like affecting the world and how like the pollution is like outrageous. So like many stores I buy from is like online stores that are shipping from who knows where, and then like Forever 21, all these cheap places, just figuring out like how they make their products and like how they don't even know like what material or like where they're getting the materials from is crazy to think about. But it's also opened my eyes about what I wear now,